Hi everyone, Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. Well, I'm back to do another video. I apologize that it's been a while since we did a video like this. COVID has been pretty much a real pain for everybody, but for the RV industry, honestly, we had a great year and we were extremely busy, and you know, it's just something where we got to a point where we had so many customers here, it was hard to take time to do videos. Well, it's cold weather again, so even though it'd be much more comfortable to be out here in the warm days, we're past all that now. So let's get back in the habit, and we're gonna make our best effort to do more videos going forward. So today, first of all, if you like what we do, you like how we do things, don't forget to like and subscribe to our page so you get notifications about when we do this. And most importantly, this is the one everybody forgets, don't forget to ask for me if you want to come in and buy this rig or any of our other rigs. If you like the way that we present things here, very important, we do get paid to sell coaches, not to do videos, so help us out on that front. So I'm done with the advertising stuff. So we have, we're down to just a handful of Dutchstars here. It's making me sweat. And this one, I really can't put my finger on it at all why this hasn't sold yet. This is a 2020. Now keep in mind, Newmar's model year cycles a lot later in the year. Usually it's around August before you really start seeing their following model year come out. But this is a 2020 Dutchstar 4020 for the specs out there. It's done in Velocity decor and Velocity exterior, and then this is the caramel glazed cherry on the cabinet. So there's your specs for everybody who likes to know exactly what they're looking at. Now, why hasn't this coach sold? I don't know, because it's very similar to how I would set this up if I was ordering it for myself. So maybe you can help me figure out why it hasn't sold, or maybe just the right person hasn't seen it yet. So we need to get this one gone. The good news is, because it is a 2020, I don't have to hide my sale price on it. I can tell you the sale price. We have this for $359,994. This has an MSRP of $473,000, and we have a sale price for $359,994. On our current model year stuff, I can only give out the MSRP, but this has been marked to move. We do take trade-ins as well, so that's a little about this coach. Now let's get into some of the features of this specific coach. I'm going to start up in the cockpit area. This does have the digital dash, and it does have the tire pressure monitoring built in. I've got the key on so you can kind of see that right now. You can see that's all on. It's a really beautiful display. Your tire temperature and pressures are displayed right there in front of you. That's nice, because up until just recently, tire pressure monitoring was a separate add-on system. Now it's integrated into the chassis. This also has the Bluetooth for your phone integrated into the chassis, and I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, they've had that for a while. Not really. What they've had is it's integrated through the radio, and there'd have to be a little microphone wire somewhere else in the coach. That's not the case here. This actually has the Bluetooth built into the chassis portion of it. The microphone is built in. So it makes it very, very easy when you go to integrate everything. It's much more automotive feel rather than an aftermarket stereo feel, if that makes sense. We'll get into the business section up here. All right. So going over these just really quickly, yeah, we all know me, it probably won't be that quickly, but anyway, over here, this is actually our inverter control and also our control for our auto generator start. So inverters, remember, they do the opposite of converters. An inverter takes 12-volt battery power, DC current if you will, and changes it into 120-volt AC current, household power, like what we plug into in the wall at home. That's what inverters do, so it's very handy to have one on here. This actually has a 2800 watt inverter built into the coach. So that'll run really everything in here with the exception of the roof air conditioners. You know, it's something where people worry about that from time to time because the refrigerators have gone all electric, and oh my gosh, will my refrigerator stay cold going down the road? Yeah, especially going down the road, because your batteries, when your engine's running, well, that's charging your batteries. When your generator's running, well, that's charging your batteries. So those batteries supply the inverter supplies the refrigerator, and you know, it's just this big cycle of life, and you can do that forever. Now, when you stop, how long can you stay stopped? Well, there's no solid answer to that question, but certainly somewhere between 18 and 36 hours, you're going to have plenty of battery life. You know, there's a lot of other variables in there. How new are the batteries? You know, how many other things did you have on other than the refrigerator and stuff like that? But you're not going to have to worry about things shutting down on you. This will keep your refrigerator and your food cold and frozen very, very well. Now, let's say that you stay for longer than that. You're going to be there for 4 or 5 days. Can you still do that? Well, yeah, because this has the AGS switch here, and if you turn on your auto generator start, you can set that up to where if your battery voltage drops to a certain level, I think by default it's like 11.7 volts. If your batteries drop to that level, it'll fire up the generator and automatically recharge your battery. So it makes it very, very simple to keep your batteries charged and keep everything going. So this, moving on to the next device here, this is just our power antenna. That'll help you dial in digital over-the-air stations. So that's what's controlled by this. This guy right here, this is part of this being an all-electric coach. This is our Oasis system, or our hydronic heating system. If you're not familiar with hydronic heating, we did a separate video on that. You could look for that on YouTube, Mount Comfort RV hydronic heating. We did a completely separate video on that, or call me and I'll email it to you. And we talk about that in depth. But basically, this is what our primary heating system for the coach, and it's also our water heating system, and it's an on-demand water heating system. It runs off of either diesel fuel or electric, and it's hot water on demand. So if you want to take a 40-minute shower, unlike other RVs where you're going to run out after 5 or 10 minutes, this will keep up with you. Going real quickly across the switches here, we have security lights on the first 2 switches. We have a block heater. This is an electric block heater on this coach. That's just if, like, well, right now it's cold outside. If I was going to take this coach somewhere tomorrow, I'd want to click that block heater on the night before so that that engine is a little easier to start, and it's a little better for the engine to have it heated up as well. This coach does have an in-motion satellite dish on the roof, and that's the switch to turn that on. This is our exterior step switch, which controls whether or not that step comes in and out every time we open the door, or whether it just stays out as long as we're set up at a campsite. And then lastly is our fancy lights, I call them. These are the LEDs that are out there that shine. They're under the slide room, and they shine down on the ground. So those are our pretty lights. These are slide controls for the front 2 slides. This is our Girard awning control. This does have the Nova awnings on them, which are the awnings that not only come out, but they come out and they kind of bend in the middle, so they articulate down to give you that much more added shade. That's the control for those there. This is our little over-the-door awning. It has that little awning so we don't get rained on coming and going. And then this is our energy management system. And on our energy management system, we would use this to tell how much power we're using at the campsite, and this will also help keep us under whatever that threshold is. So you can see we're pulling a total of 33 amps right now. If we were on a 30 amp service, this coach would shut some things off strategically to stay under 30 amps so you don't pop the circuit breaker. As it is, we're running off the generator, so we have more than 50 amps available to us, and so pulling 32 amps is no big deal. And lastly, this little touch screen right here, well, this shows us our tank levels, our battery levels, and also it's our HVAC controls for our heating and cooling. There's a couple ways to heat this coach, actually 3. I talked about one already. Your primary system when it's cold outside is going to be that Oasis or that hydronic heating system, but this does have 2 roof air conditioners with built-in heat pumps in it as well. If it's above 40 degrees, heat pumps do a wonderful job, and you're heating with electricity then instead of using any of your diesel fuel or anything like that. And then lastly, this coach has the heated floor option, and this is a polished porcelain tile floor. It is an electric heated floor. It does not circulate water through the floor to heat it. I always like to go through that. There's a particular manufacturer out there that circulates fluid from the hydronic system through the floor. I'm not a big fan of that system because it definitely gives you hot spots. You know, if there's a pipe running here, that's going to be a warm spot. Then you're going to be cold. Then you're going to be over here and on another pipe and it's a hot spot. That's one problem I have with it. Number 2, God forbid you ever got a leak in there and they have to go looking for it. They're going to be pulling up tile all over the place. And lastly, with this is induction. There's actually a tool that if this ever failed, if you ever got a break in a wire under the floor or something, they can actually point a gun at the floor and it will show them where the break is. And so even if something did break, they could take up one tile, make a little repair, put that one tile back on, and you go on. You're not having a plumbing problem in the floor. So it is an electric heated polished porcelain tile, and it is 3-zone. So you have the living room zone, you have the bedroom zone, and then you have a 3rd zone for the rear bathroom, as this is a bath and a half coach. We optioned in the optional TV up here. I know I get a lot of times people asking, well, why'd they option that in? Well, sometimes when you have a coach like this, even though for most people this is two people using this coach, and we have two wonderful recliners right here, and they are directly across from the main television. Okay, so you've got tremendous viewing angle there. But if this TV were up and you had guests over and they're sitting on the sofa, well, they're sitting right in front of the TV, and if you all wanted to watch the game together or something, makes it a little bit more difficult. So they put in a secondary TV as an option up here, just so you could all then join in and watch TV. So that's why that's there. Of course, both of these chairs do rotate around to become part of the living area. Now, again, for most people, most of the time it's just two people in a coach like this, you probably won't even bother rotating those around. But if you do have guests over, it's nice to have that option. Speaking of guests, this is a hide-a-bed sofa. This particular floor plan has flat floor slide outs on both sides. So notice, now we're in a Dutchstar, so we don't have any carpet anywhere in this coach. It's all polished porcelain tile, and then both of these slides go out and down so that they create truly a flat floor here. So nice setup there. All right, we've talked about the hide-a-bed sofa. Let's talk about some of our entertainment setups here. This is storage on this side. We have the Bose system here, and then we're going to have a little Blu-ray player there, a Sony Blu-ray player there. The Bose surround will work with either satellite or over-the-air TV, or you can even Bluetooth to it. So if you want to listen to Pandora or something through your Bose soundbar, you can certainly do that. We talked about the hide-a-bed. Across from that, we have these two flex steel recliners. They are extremely comfortable. These are freestanding, so you can take these and move them wherever you want to. Pull them out from the wall, fully recline. Gotta love that. You open this up, you have two cup holders here, and then we have storage down below. These are the soft close drawers too, so if you just get them close, they're going to pull themselves in. One thing that's going to separate, when you get up to Dutchstar level, there's a lot of goodies you get, but one of them is that we are all solid hardwood cabinets here as a standard feature. You know, most RVs out there, we're talking like 90+%, you'll get solid wood doors, but then if you feel back behind these styles, you'll feel where it's actually a wrapped wood. Now, there's nothing wrong with wrapped wood per se if it's real wood. But a lot of times it's a wrapped particle board or something, and then that's not a good deal at all. Understand, every bit of this is stained wood. There's no wrap at all here, no vinyl wrap whatsoever. That's true on the wood in the ceiling. That's true on these slide fascias. I've seen these be made out of just foam board before, and they're really flimsy. That is not what we're dealing with here. We do have the freestanding dinette here. There's two more chairs back in the back, and then we have storage up against the wall, and those are adjustable shelves. Okay. Do the same over here. This will be a duplicate, and then there's even some storage. It's going to be a hard shot to get. Sorry, Tony. Underneath. It's great to have as much storage as you can possibly have. Obviously, a lot of times people that buy a coach of this level, they're going to spend extended time in it. You know, this isn't going to be a weekender for them. This is going to be something that they either live full-time in or go and spend 6 months out of the year in it. So we'll go through here, take a look at these. They're not huge cabinets, but one thing about true RVers, they'll find something to put in there. These are all lined as well, so that's going to keep things from sliding around, also keep things from rattling. All right, let's go back over here above the recliners. 3 drawers. Now these bigger drawers, they're on the struts that hold themselves up. Again, it's all lined. Very, very nice. Your lighting system in here is what we call a multiplex lighting system. And what that means is there's different panels throughout, just like this one that you see here. And they're very well labeled. They're backlit, so you can see them at night, but you can also turn the backlighting down if it's too bright and it's bothering you at night. But they're labeled as to what they are. And it allows you to go up to one of about 6 panels throughout the coach and turn on lights in multiple places. I also like the fact when you're headed out the door, you can just hit 2 buttons at once and darken the whole coach. So if you left a light on in the back and you're headed out for dinner, hit 2 buttons all at once, the whole coach gets dark. Makes it very, very easy. Come into the kitchen area here. So we'll go do some upper storage first. Okay. We have a 30-inch convection residential microwave. beautiful Corian that is cut and polished right at Newmar. And then this is a double bowl stainless sink with a pull down sink sprayer that makes it easier to do those larger, bulkier items. They didn't put those ugly outlets right in the middle of their beautiful tile backsplash. They're actually mounted on the bottom side here, so you do have outlets in the kitchen, but they hid them kind of out of sight, out of mind. And then we have an undermount induction cooktop. If you're not familiar with induction cooking, it's really a great way to go, especially for RVs. A lot of people go into this in their residences as well, but for an RV, it doesn't use as much energy, which is good. You know, a true 110 volt cooktop pulls a lot of juice, which can be troublesome when you're trying to run air conditioners and everything at the same time. These don't pull much electricity at all, and that cooktop is removable. It's simply setting in there. You can lift it up, take it outside, use it outdoors. Now, you do have to use the special pans, but those are not hard to find at all. Literally, you can buy those at any Target, Walmart, whatever. They just have to be a magnetic pan. Now, cutting boards on the back of those, so that's one less thing you have to pack when those are already kind of built into the coach. All right, let's look at some other storage here. We have a pull down there and a pull down here. Okay. A spot for the trash can. What a novel idea. Okay. More storage here. And then drawers. 3 of them. There's the rack for the microwave. Now, one thing you might notice in this beautiful floor is there's no floor vents there. There's no, for your forced air floor registers, if you will. They're built in right here into the cabinets, and that's putting out plenty of warm air right now. Like I said, it's cold here today. I came out an hour or so ago, kicked everything on, and there's actually just a little heat exchanger in there. It's very quiet, blowing just a little warm air in the coach. It's a very even heat, and that's something you really love about an all-electric coach. You don't have the noisy furnace. Now, the cherry wood has always been one of my favorite woods, and I always like to find a good place because you can find them in every coach. There's a lot of natural hallmarks and distress marks and everything in cherry. Look at that. Look at the 2 different colors in that same cabinet. Folks, that's not a flaw. It's just natural cherry. And if that bothers you, well, pick a different wood, pick a different coach, quite frankly, because this coach will have those kind of all over it. I can see them as I'm looking around. You see that in the woodwork. People that appreciate natural cherry, that's the look they're looking for. And like I said, if it's not, that's okay. We carry other woods and everything, but I find it just gorgeous. And by the way, we did option this in. This is the high gloss. Newmar makes all of their cabinets in the Dutchstar. You can do either a high gloss or a matte finish. This is the high gloss, which I think really makes it stand out. Residential refrigerator, like we talked about. This is a Whirlpool. Freezer with ice maker down below. This is a lock that Newmar installs on there, so you can lock it up so your orange juice doesn't come bailing out at you while you're going down the road. We do have water on the door. This pantry, these are adjustable shelves, so you can adjust the height on them, but take a look at how nice that is. I mean, you know, what you want always seems to be in the back, or it's poorly lit and you can't see it. This is very well lit, and you can get even the stuff that's in the back. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 6 of those pull-out drawers down through there. Beautiful pantry. That's one of the big selling points of this. Now, what you're going to see here that articulates in the middle, it kind of hinges in the middle, if you will. They do that because when the slide is in, this door, if it was normally hinged, would hit the refrigerator, and we don't want to tear up our beautiful stainless refrigerator. So they made this door that hinges in the middle. Now, people will look at that and say, oh, it's going to be crowded in there. It's really not, but you have to go in and close the door to appreciate that. So I don't think Tony and I are going to do that, but you can see I can get in here. There's plenty of room, and then you shut that door, and that door gets out of your way, and it's very, very easy. Let me open up some storage, and then I'll let Tony film it. This is not, I'm not going to open these up right now over here, or I'm not going to leave them open for filming. This is just circuit breakers and fuses in here, so that's what's here, but I'll open up some of the other storage so Tony can get in here and get a shot. And I'll get out of the way. All right, moving on. We'll go into the bedroom now. This bedroom, this is a 3-slide coach. So we have a full wall slide on the driver's side, and then we have 2 slides on the passenger or door side of the coach. when you want to separate this off, there's a double pocket door here with a built-in latching system. So there's your privacy. And then it very easily stows back away. And that built-in latching system, it'll latch if it's all the way open or all the way closed. So now that door latched itself. I didn't even have to mess with it. So coming into the bedroom, we have a king-size bed. This is a Sleep Number bed. So if you like it soft and your partner likes it firm, you can certainly do that. That's easy. I just upgraded to one of these in my house about 6 months ago. My wife and I finally have the first comfortable bed we've ever had. And it turns out we like drastically different things, and that's the problem there. So up here, this is actually, there's an outlet up there. It's hard to see, but take my word for it, it's there. That's for a CPAP. A lot of people have CPAP machines now. This coach is built for a CPAP. There's room for it up there. There's a plug-in for it. And then there's little cubbies here that allow you to bring the tubing down for your CPAP. So not only is this good storage, but like I said, it's built for people with CPAPs. And that's something, unfortunately, most coaches are not built for that. There are outlets. You got the little nightstands here, and then there are little outlets on both sides of the bed that also have built-in USBs into them, so you don't have to take the big charging block and plug that in. It's actually very easy. Your USB cord will plug right in there. As I said, king-size bed, padded headboard, and then this will lift up for storage. I told you there were 2 extra chairs. There they are. There's the leaf for the table, so when you do want to have guests, you have your folding chairs and your leaf stored right under your bed. All right, let's talk about storage, because again, folks that buy a coach like this are probably going to need some storage. They're going to spend extended time in it. We have 2 nice wardrobes on either side. All right, and then we have 5 drawers down below. All right, that's not a drawer. Yeah, that's your kind of your AV cabinet. Again, Blu-ray player built in. It's all pre-wired for satellite. And then 5 drawers like this one. I'm not going to open them all, but you get the idea. All right. And as I mentioned before, bath and a half. So you have a very small step up here, maybe 4 inches. Step up into the bathroom. You tall people are going to love this. I'm not. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", but this has a cathedral ceiling back here, which makes it very, very nice. So I've had people 6'6" or so in here. It's no problem. So if you're taller than that, well, RVs just aren't made for you. Sorry, you're going to have to duck. So right here as we come in, we have a stackable washer dryer. This is from Splendide. They're made for the mobile industry. All right. More storage here, and this is another wardrobe. They've done a nice job getting you as much storage as possible in this coach, and that goes down deep. There's a safe in there for you to hide the valuables, the jewelry, maybe a pistol. All right. And then more, I mean, what are there, 6 drawers here? Yeah, there's 6 drawers like this one. Storage there. Okay. Now you see the marks on the floor there. I get that question from time to time. What is the silver stuff on the floor? Who thought that was a good idea? Well, what that is I'm actually standing over the engine right now. So it's very rare. The most reliable part we have with these diesel pushers are anything chassis related. Engines, transmissions, drivetrains. Very rare to have problems. These are built to go 500,000 to 1 million miles. They're built for the trucking industry, and the truth is the RV use that we put on them is pretty light duty use for them, so they tend to be very, very reliable. But in the rare event somebody would need to get to the top of that engine, okay, that is how they could get there, by taking off this panel down here and going down through there. That's why that's there. This, I mentioned this is the 40/20 floor plan. Some of you who really follow Newmar closely may have been familiar with the predecessor to this, which was the 4002 floor plan. Very similar layout, but what people didn't like about the 4002 is it had that neo-angle shower. It had a small shower in it. This is not a small shower. Okay? This is actually quite a big shower. You know, elbows up all the way around. There's a lot of space in here. We do have the teak wood seat. For those of you who need to shave your legs, this is all Corian instead of the, I forget the name of that product. They had more of a plastic product on the walls before. The name will come back to me later. But this is all now Corian, so that's nice. Even built-in spots for the shampoo bottles and stuff like that. No jokes about me needing shampoo. I don't need that kind of grief. And you do have the assist handle in here. Even if you don't need that now, we have, none of us are getting any younger. And right now, my knees work great. 10 years from now, who knows? That might come in handy someday. And this also has the water miser in it. That's this little dot right here. Okay, that little dot right there changes colors. All right, I'll turn it on. So there you can see it's glowing blue. If you're dry camping, this is extremely important. And by dry camping, I just mean you're not hooked up to water. You're using the water that you have on board. And you only have so much of that. Well, used to, what we had to do with these systems is it comes time to take a shower, well, you just have to turn it on. It is a hot water on demand system, but it's not instantaneous. It has to circulate from the hydronic unit over to the shower, and that might take 30 seconds, okay? Well, that whole time you're running water down the drain, and you're doing two things. You're using your fresh water, but you're also filling your gray water. Either one of those can be very detrimental. Well, nice part about this setup is you don't have to do that. You turn that little lower knob down there on, and you'll hear water circulating, but nothing's coming out of the shower head. It actually starts to circulate the water, but it sends it back to the fresh water tank. So it's not going down the drain. So you're not using your fresh water, and you're not filling your gray tank. When that light changes color on that water miser system, you know that the hot water is there. So then you turn that bottom valve off, you turn the top valve on, and instantaneously you've got hot water. Nice system, like I said, especially for dry camping, makes all the sense in the world. Back here, obviously we have the stool in the corner here, but then we also have the emergency exit door. Newmar came up with this several years ago, and this has the ladder built into it as well. So when you open that door, you pull that little tab there, the ladder comes telescoping out the bottom. Makes it a nice, easy exit in the event that you need an emergency exit. Now, I like this one because it's easy to get to. Sometimes they're behind the toilet, which again, if I needed to, I'd make that happen. But this is actually very, very simple here. Again, if you want to see this in action, we have done other videos on that. Google Newmar Escape Door Mount Comfort RV, and you'll see videos of that pop up. Or again, call or email me, and I will gladly send it to you. Oh, I forgot the medicine cabinet, the upper storage. Look how deep that is, and an outlet in there to plug in your hair dryer, razors, whatever. Some good storage there, and then more storage here. And again, great depth here. We're shooting that through the shower, I think. Okay, sorry, my big head's in the way. All right, so that's a little bit about the inside. One thing we always like to do on these coaches is close them up and show you how much of a pathway you have through the coach with the slides in. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so for those of you who like a big aisle going down the road, this is the coach for you. Now, full disclosure, I did turn these recliners to the side. If you turn them and put them back to back here against the center table there, it gives you so much more room because they do stick out a little farther than the ledge there. Otherwise, you don't have to do this, but it's a tight kind of scoot through sideways if you don't, as opposed to, we got like 2 feet all the way through this coach. I mean, this is as good as it gets in big time RVs with multiple slides, opposing slides, that type of thing. This aisle is awesome. Easy bathroom. I mean, this is as good as it gets. Turn around, we can get in either side of the refrigerator, freezer, pantry, get to the bed, lay on the bed. Nice setup here with the 40/20. One thing I failed to mention, one of the reasons people like this floor plan is this right here. The dinette is actually on the door side. Now, every RV resort campground is a little different, but the one consistency that you do have is on your door side. That's your awning side, that's your fire ring, that's your picnic table, that's your lawn chairs, that's your family out here on this side. So it makes sense for a lot of people to have their dinette on this side. So that's why this floor plan has always been kind of popular, back when it was the 4002, and now that they've improved it and it's the 40/20. And a lot of people don't want to drive a 43-footer down the road. I don't really think that last 3 feet matters a whole bunch, but some people do. So hey, you're the ones buying it. This is a 40-footer. One thing I want to point out, and when you don't own an RV, maybe you don't realize this, but you hear a lot of things, and obviously these are huge purchases. These are so many things to take into consideration, and you don't know where to really rank sometimes all the things you have to decide on. Well, one of the things you hear all the time is, well, with a 40-footer, with a 45-footer, with a 43-footer, you can't get in all the parks and all those. Okay, there's certainly some truth to that. Now, there's less truth today than there was 10 years ago, and I think 10 years from now, there'll be even less truth to that. But let's be honest, there are still some parks, especially state and national parks, that can be difficult for big rigs to get into. Does that mean you should buy a small rig? Well, for some of you, maybe if that's all you plan on doing is those state parks and everything, maybe. But let's think about this for a minute. This isn't the wild, wild west. We don't just jump in our coach and we go drive somewhere and we get to that national park and, what? They won't let me in? No. Okay, we get on the internet. We look at what their size restrictions are. We look and see if they have 50 amp service at their sites. We look and see if they have pull-through sites. We look and see if they've got room for 45 footers. You plan your trips ahead of time and you know what you're getting into before you hit the road. You certainly don't just drive from campground to campground all willy-nilly, hoping for the best, or you will run into some struggles. What you'll find, especially with the big national parks, is, you know, if they do have size restrictions, which many of them do, you'll find that within about 10 minutes, almost every time, there's somebody taking advantage of the fact that, okay, the national park's not letting in the big rigs, but there's all these people out there that have these big, nice big rigs and want a place to stay. I'm going to open an RV resort that caters to coaches like that. And like I said, look up your favorite national parks, and I'll bet you'll find a campground within, even if they won't fit you in, I'll bet you'll find a campground even within 10 minutes that will definitely cater to larger rigs. You know, when you have a rig like this, you're probably going to end up towing a car behind you anyway. So maybe instead of staying in the national park, you stay at a nice RV park that's a lot easier to get in and out of, and then you take your toad with you, take your toad to the national park. So just my 2 cents on that. It always cracks me up that sometimes people think that they wouldn't know those things ahead of time. Certainly, if you do any planning at all, you're going to know that ahead of time. Now, speaking of doing a little planning, I plan on showing you the outside of this coach right now. Okay, it's cold enough, I got to do this because, you know, I don't have a lot of hair up there, so sorry for the ugly brown hat, but my head's cold. So again, this is a 2020 4020, and we're going to go around the outside features fairly quickly because it is a little nippy out here today. So we have the keyless entry up front here. You can program in your own code. You've got a doorbell. We've demonstrated the doorbell in other videos if you want to see that. But punch in your own code. You can lock, unlock your doors and your baggage doors here on this coach with the touch of a button. Don't have to have the keys with you all the time. We have our Newmar exclusive flagpole holder. Comes with a little bracket, goes in there. You fly your colors. So that's a beautiful thing there. Now, we didn't really talk about the camera system on this coach, and I probably should have on the inside. It was warmer in there. But we have turn signal cameras, turn signal activated cameras here, where when you go to change lanes on the interstate, you turn on your blinker, it shows you what's in your blind spot. That's pretty standard. Of course, you have a backup camera. That's pretty standard. But this also has the 360 cameras on it. So on your screen there, it gives you a bird's eye view of what's around your coach at any time you want it. So it makes it very nice in tight spots like gas stations and stuff like that. This coach did option in the stainless package all around, so you have all the shiny all the way around. Makes them look like $1 million. So that's a nice feature. These are Michelin tires. These are the big ones. Those are the 315s on the front. They may be 295s on the back. I'll look at that when we get back there. But big rubber on the front there. Dual fuel fill. You can fill this coach from either side. And then we have our Dometic. This is 12 volt or 120 volt Dometic freezer or refrigerator. You set it to either one. So keep the beer cold, keep the steaks frozen, whichever you like. And this does pull all the way out. So even if that slide room were extended, this still comes out beyond that. Nice setup. You have power outlets in there as well. Now right here, this is Newmar's flush slide system. Other companies, they do this. They're going to put a piece of plastic and paint it over there to hide the fact that their slides don't fit real well. These slide back into the wall. When they recess into the wall, that means that it's less chance for wind noise, water penetration, that type of thing for you. Watch this door. This is called a slipper door. Because this slide comes out and down, when you shut the door, it actually goes up. Look at that. That's some Amish engineering there. Now, there's LED lights in here. If any door is open, all the lights are on. There's a master switch inside to cut that off if you don't want them on, but you can see what you're doing when you open these doors. This pull-out tray goes out either side. These are some spare tiles from the same box of tiles they used to tile the floor originally. So if you'd ever, drop a skillet, crack a tile, you have that to replace it with. These are neoprene seals instead of rubber. Neoprene lasts longer, seals better, and these are not just stuck on with some adhesive that's going to come unglued. This is a clamp. It's called a spring-rolled steel in the seal there, so it kind of clamps itself to it. They're not going to come off and be laying on the ground later. Thickness of the floor. You want to know how well insulated a coach is? Don't listen to them when they tell you they've got thick baggage doors, and don't listen to them when they tell you how thick the walls are. By the way, these walls are like that thick. But you're only as strong as your weakest point. How thick's your floor? Everybody else out there is using floors like this thick, okay? This floor is like this thick. Feel that. You know, you can't, that's not salesmanship. That's, go look at it, put your hands on it, see it for yourself. Okay. Nice deep storage here, and we get these long screws. Chris, what in the world are those long screws for? Well, we hope you never find out. But if you would have trouble with one of these hydraulic slide systems on the front, 2 slides, that's plan B. That would help you put the slide back in. So it's good to know there is a plan B. You hope you don't need plan B. TV with Bose sound system. Again, plugs with USBs right out here. You can angle that to wherever you want. It locks itself back in place. All right, these tires are 315s all the way around. Good to know. This is our DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. If you're not familiar with diesel exhaust fluid, it's part of the after treatment on diesel engines today. Call me. I'll explain everything you need to know about it, but you can fill it from either side. That's the main thing you need to know. These are our chassis batteries. These are what actually start the engine. We have more batteries on the other side to get to. You can tow 15,000 pounds behind this coach, so pretty much anything you want. And then this has the built-in air chuck. That air chuck is for air braking systems for your Toad. Most states require that your Toad have a braking system on it. You can use an air-activated one. In fact, the motorhome is pre-plumbed for that. Easy access to the engine because it is a side radiator coach. If you needed to change a belt, check fluids, everything's easier to get to on a coach that has the side radiator as opposed to a rear radiator, because on the rear radiator coaches, pretty much that's all you can see. Moving on around. So let's see. Well, here, Tony, here's a good spot. I told you about the 360 cameras. It uses these cameras right here. There's 4 of those, one on each side, one on the front, one on the back. That's separate from your backup camera, which is up top. It uses those 4 images as a wide image and then stitches the picture together. It's a pretty cool setup. You kind of have to see it and drive it to appreciate it. That's the other DEF fill. I told you you could fill from either side. Whew, this is the windy side of the coach over here. This is where you store your sewer hose. By the way, Newmar uses a steerable tag. That axle will turn up to 10 degrees when you're doing slow speed turns. Our hose is on a power reel, so you don't have to wrestle a hose. Every drop of water that comes through this coach goes through that whole house water filtration system. This is a very well heated compartment, so this is truly a 4-season coach. As we come over here, our 50-foot, 50-amp shore power cord is also on a reel, and there is a built-in, the transfer switch actually has a surge protector built into this to protect the electronics of the coach. This is that hydronic heating system I told you about. That heats your water. It's your primary heating system for the coach. Here's the other half of that tray, moving quickly. And then these are our 8 AGM batteries. They are also on a pull-out tray, easy to get to. AGM means they are maintenance-free battery. That's absorbed glass mat as opposed to like a lead acid battery. This is our other fuel fill. This front compartment simply are some chassis fuses. Those are some Spartan fuses in there. And last but not least, the generator is in the nose. This is an Onan 8 kW generator. We have hot water to generator up here so we can clean bugs off our windshield with hot water. And then this actually, sure it does, when it's hot frozen, there we go. This actually pulls out for easier servicing of the generator. All right, folks. That's about all we can take with the cold weather. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to ask for me. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris Anderson with Mount Comfort RV. We'll see you next time.